Come closer. Let's begin. Stories dripping smooth like wine. Some are crooked, some divine. Whispers rising in the night. Touch the heat of Sunday spice. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Every laugh, a sweet device. Lose yourself in Sunday spice. Naughty secrets, little lies. Eyes are glowing, tongues collide. Doesn't matter if they're true. The fun is waiting here for you. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Let it tease. Let it entice. You belong in Sunday spice. Don't fight it. You know what you want. Sunday. Spice.
Is this thing on?
What's happening? Where are we?
What happened? I had to find that in just like a matter of minutes.
You did.
That's
You
impressive.
did that really
That's
quick.
impressive.
You did really well.
I was
with
like,
that.
damn, I'm awesome.
Mhm.
Oh Lord, it's that night.
Oh, law. Oh,
no,
law
yes,
is that
it-
night.
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
It is. Yes, it is.
Well, we've got part 5. It is and I guess we can always pick up where we left off.
Yes, we can.
Gonna- Oh, I gotta share it. It's so bad. I can't help it though. I'm laughing too hard. It's called
Oh my.
The fight to the glory hole.
Oh,
Flight.
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 Oh,
light.
sorry. I got to make it bigger. Oh, okay. Now I can read it. Okay.
Embiggen it. Embiggen it.
Embiggen it. That's what she said.
Uh-huh.
Guess
Embiggen
it's
that.
me, precious.
Oh.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet.
No, we haven't.
Mm-mm. Well, the days that followed the tip of the head were grim and weary. Frank staggered eastward, pale and trembling. The poison of the pride dagger burning him, his breath grew shorter, his steps heavier, and often he half rode, half carried between Sam and Mary while Pip trailed behind, muttering complaints that died quickly under Yamaha's glare. The land grew bleaker still. No trees shaded their way. No birds sang in the air. Only dry grass whispered beneath the wind, and the road ran cracked and broken, just like my first wife.
Oh.
Emptiness. By day, they felt the 9 behind them, very close behind them.
Ooh.
By night, they heard the low hum of engines circling, hunting, never far from their trail. Once in the half light of dawn, they glimpsed a black car cresting a ridge, its hood glinting like a blade before it slid again into shadow. Frank weakened with each mile. His face was pale as chalk, his lips blue, his eyes glazed as though a veil hung over him. He spoke seldom, and when he did, his voice seemed not his own. Cold, he whispered, once clutching Sam's arm. So cold, colder than the thrust lands itself. Sam
Figured
wiped
that'd be warm.
Sam wiped sweat from his brow and maybe a few other things and held him tighter. You hold on, Mr. Frank. We'll get you to the glory hole, I swear it. But the others saw how his hands shook, how the wound darkened, and their hearts quailed. It was on the fourth night that hope appeared. They had camped in a shallow hollow, the fire hidden by stones. The wind kissed in the grass, and Frank lay shivering under his cloak while Sam kept watch. The night was still, until suddenly the dogs barked. Not the mutts of Farmer McGuckey, but strange, unseen hounds whose howls split the dark. Sam leapt up, rousing the others. Then from the east came the sound of hooves. At first they crouched low, fearing the nine, but the sound was lighter, swifter, ringing with a rhythm, unlike the dull thunder of black tires. And then he came, a rider on a pale motorbike that gleamed like silver fire beneath the stars. His hair streamed golden in the night wind. His face shone fair and terrible. His leather jacket clung in ways that made Pip mutter, "Bloody hell, it's fabulous." Yamaha rose at once, his hand shifting in recognition. "Sweet Cheeks," he said simply. The rider dismounted, swinging one booted leg over the shining bike. His smile was bright, his eyes fierce, and his voice carried like music, though with a lilt that can only be called flamboyant. "I've been hunting for you, darlings."
Well, it could be called other things.
She said, tossing back his hair, and not a moment too soon. You dragged your little fart friend halfway to home already. If we don't get him to the glory hole, he's done for. Sam bristled, half rising. "He's not done for. He's strong." Sweet Cheeks bent low, touching Frank's face with a hand that glowed faintly in the dark. Frank stirred, whispering, and even in his fever, his eyes flickered at the touch. "Oh, he's so strong," Sweet Cheeks agreed softly. "But strength is enough against the pride, not without help. And help loves exactly what I bring." He stood, tall and radiant, his leather gleaming in the firelight. "Come morning we ride, you follow me, and we'll make for the river. Get right behind me. And from there, the glory hole. But know this, the 9 inches are close. They smell him for miles. We will be chased every step, and if we falter, they'll take him." Well, the fart shivered. Pip muttered something about dying fabulous, and Mary cuffed him in the back of the head and "Shut up." And Sam held Frank tighter. Yamaha's eyes narrowed, but his voice carried a rare note of relief that had settled. "We move with you, Sweet Cheeks." The techling smiled, dazzling in the firelight. "Oh, honey, you'll be safe in my hands, all of you." With that promise, the company lay uneasy beneath the stars while the sound of engines purred faint in the distance, circling ever nearer. The next morning broke sharp and cold, the sky gray with a hint of storm. They rose weary. Frank, pale as death, but Sweet Cheeks was already astride his gleaming silver bike. The machine purred like a lion, its chrome flashing in the dim light. "Up with you, darling. Let's get it up." From the seat to lift Frank.
Is that what you say?
No, you shouldn't have that much trouble in the morning. You should already be up.
He said, "You ride with me. The rest of you just keep pace or get left behind me." Mm-hmm. Sam started forward. "But Sam," Yamaha cut him off, his voice like gravel. "Shut your cockwasher. Let this shiny bastard do his job." Well, Sweet Cheeks set Frank gently on the back of the bike, wrapping his own leather jacket around him. "Well, hold on tight, love. I won't let you fall." Frank muttered something faint, his eyes glazed, but his hands clutched weakly at Sweet Cheeks' waist, as disturbing as that felt.
Boo.
Then the engine roared and the chase began. They flew across the barren land. Yamaha striding like a storm, Sam and the others running hard behind. Dust rose in their wake and the wind tore at their cloaks. But behind them rose another sound, the deep, dreadful hum of engines, black and low, swelling louder with every mile. "They're coming," Mary cried, looking back. The 9 crested a ridge, black cars gleaming, headlights dim, hoods like fangs. They rolled in formation, slow but relentless, and the air grew cold as those engines screamed, "Dodge, dodge, dodge." "Faster," Yamaha bellowed. He swung his sword at the sky and through the strike the sun itself. "Run, you little shits, or Homoville for beans." Farts panting, stumbling, but kept pace. Bam's face was set in a grim determination, Pip's with terror, Mary with iron resolve, and Frank sagged against some sweet cheeks, barely conscious, his skin cold as stone. Mm-hmm. The road bent downward into a narrow valley where the river rushed wild across the stones. The sound of its torrent filled the air, bright and fierce. "There," Sweet Cheeks shouted, his golden hair streaming. "The river of tears. Cross it and the glory hole is ours."
All this with no lube.
All of it with not a bit of lube. The 9 shrieked as one, their engines screaming higher. They surged faster, closing the distance, black doors swinging open as shallowed figures leaned out, hands reaching. "Go, get them across, Sweet Cheeks. We'll hold the bastards here." Sweet Cheeks gunned the engine. The silver bike leapt forward, wheels splashing into the shallow ford. Water sprayed high, catching the light like fire. Frank stirred weakly, his eyes fluttering open, and for a moment he saw the glory hole beyond the river, a valley hidden in light, shining with promise. But the 9 were nearly upon him. They halted at the bank, their cars snarling, black shadows spilling forward. One raised a pride dagger high, its blade flashing. The air froze. "Come back, beans," they hissed. "Come to Homo." Frank swayed in the seat, his strength nearly gone. The whisper of the ring surged. "We hear me, join me, and the chase." But Sweet Cheeks turned, his face radiant and terrible, and shouted words in a tongue older than bylaws, brighter than fire. His voice rang like a trumpet, and the river answered. The water of the river of tears surged high, white foam crashing like walls. A great wave roared down, glittering with strange light, and in its crest rose shapes of rainbow stallions galloping wild, their manes streaming like little banners. The 9 shrieked. Their engines drowned. The flood crashed upon them, sweeping their black cars from the bank, overturning them in the torrent. Shadows writhed and screamed and then were swept away, vanishing into the foam. The valley rang with the sound. Then all was still. Sweet Cheeks wheeled the bike up the far bank, Frank clinging faintly to him. Yamaha and the others splashed across, drenched and breathless, and stumbled at last onto solid ground. The shadow was broken. All 9 inches were gone.
Oh.
Frank sagged in Sweet Cheeks' arms, pale as death, and Yamaha's eyes burned as he knelt beside him. "We've made it, but if the hold can't fix him, he's done." Sweet Cheeks smiled, fierce and bright. "The glory hole, it heals all, darling. He'll be safe soon."
Makes you feel so much better.
And with that, they rode at last into the valley of the hole.
Well, once you get past the opener.
Yeah, once you get past the opening, you got to pay the piper first.
That's right.
Ew.
Chapter 7, Many Meetings in the Hole. When Frank and Beans awoke, he thought at first he had drifted into some fevered dream. The sheets beneath him were smooth as silk, the air warm and fragrant. The light streamed through the high windows in shifting colors, like when you're hungover, as if the sun itself had passed through stained glass. He blinked, bewildered, for it seemed like no place in all the cheeks had ever looked so fair. A voice came softly at his side. "Easy now, darling, you're safe." Turned his head. Sweet Cheeks sat in a chair next to the bed, golden hair falling loose, leather jacket gleaming even here in the soft light. His smile was gentle, though his eyes burned bright. "The pride wound is gone," Sweet Cheeks said, laying a hand on Frank's chest. "You'll ache a little, but the blade's poisonous out of you. I sucked it out myself.
Ew.
The glory hole has its ways." Frank swallowed. His throat was dry, but his voice came clear. "I'm alive?" Sweet Cheeks winked. More than alive, love. Fabulous! Before Frank could reply, a crash of footsteps sounded, and suddenly Sam was at the bedside, his face blotched with tears and fury. Mr. Frank! He cried, gripping his hand. Oh, I thought you'd gone full homo on us. I thought you were finished. Still here, Sam, Frank murmured, managing a faint smile. Behind Sam came Mary and Pip, both grinning wild as idiots. Mary tried to look dignified, but failed, while Pip all but threw himself onto the foot of the bed. Bloody hell! You scared the life out of us, Pip said. It nearly cost me my best snacks. Worth it, though. This place is a proper hole.
God.
Mind your tongue, Mary muttered, cuffing him lightly, though his own smile betrayed him. Frank looked at them all, his heart swelling. I'm glad you're here. It was then another figure entered, tall and familiar, his staff tapping lightly on the polished floor. His beard was as shaggy as a member of ZZ Top, but his cloak seemed brighter now, and his eyes twinkled with something sharper than mischief. Gary? Gary the Gay? The old wizard bowed with mock solemnity.
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 Jesus, I can't say that word. At your service, Beans. And at long last you're awake. About time, too. I was beginning to think you were determined to nap through history. The room filled with laughter, warm and merry, and for the first time since the tip of the head, Frank felt his shadow lift. The ring was still in his keeping, heavy and whispering, like a weirdo. But here in the glory hole, the whispers were fainter, as though the hole itself had muffled them. He sank back into the pillows, surrounded by friends, and thought, this is a dream. Never let me wake.
Oh.
Frank's
glory hole, I guess.
That's a heck of a one.
It's warm and cuddly in the glory hole.
Hey, lost souls.
Hey, lost souls.
Hey, lost souls.
Frank's strength returned slowly. Each day in the glory hole felt brighter than the last. The air alive with voices and laughter, the scent of spice and wood smoke, and music drifting always from unseen halls.
Or screams.
Or screams. The sounds of pleasure.
Pleasure.
He walked its corridors with awe. High arched ceilings painted with strange murals, fountains bubbling with waters that sparkled faintly pink, and courtyards lit by lanterns that glowed like neon even in daylight. Oh, it's Vegas. It's beautiful, he murmured once, standing at a balcony that overlooked the river far below. I never thought such a place existed. Gary the Gay chuckled beside him. The hole has a way of surprising even those who've seen it all. Elon built much of it, or so he claims. Though whatever he used, engineers, elves, Siri, depends on which day you ask. And indeed, when Frank was at last brought to the great hall, he saw Elon himself seated in the high chair. His hair was oddly wild, his smile sharp and restless, his eyes glittering as if full of strange schemes. He wore a jacket cut in sleek silver, embroidered with patterns that looked more like circuit boards and leaves. Welcome, Frankenbeans, Elon said, rising with a flourish. You've come through shadows darker than most ever will. You've been stabbed with a pride dagger and lived, which makes you either extraordinarily strong or extraordinarily lucky. Either way, welcome to the hall. Frank bowed awkwardly. Thank you, sir. Elon waved a hand dismissively. Don't sir me. Call me Elon. Everyone does. Titles are for IPOs and poor people. The hall chuckled softly. Gary's lips twitched, even though though his eyes were grave. Elon stepped closer, studying Frank with unnerving intensity. And the ring? You still carry it?
Almost. But we need a dragon to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Well, hello, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is
How are you
back,
doing?
baby.
Hallelujah! Where you been?
How's it going?
He's
you
been
know,
running naked through my
Here
wood.
and there, yeah.
I've been
Running
taking
around
shots at him.
naked.
He's quicker than a squirrel.
Better put on baby powder. That shit'll chafe.
Well, people don't bother calling the sheriff department anymore. They just tell him, he'll just fall down the field somewhere. Just leave him alone. It's all right.
Oh,
So, what is going on?
it's good to see, brother. So good. to see.
Yeah.
Finally, Gary the Gay can have his voice.
Finally.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to get me up to speed to who's who so I can figure out what to do once we get going there. Now, Elon, I'm assuming, okay, I already have an idea who he is.
Yeah, that's Elrond.
Elrond.
Gary the Gay is, of course, one of your more famous voices.
Gandalf?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I still can't really do Gandalf.
Oh, but you can't. Hell, you can do it better than I can.
I just haven't practiced on that. So
Oh,
that's all right. We'll just do like what we usually do and just shoot from the hip.
Exactly.
Take it on.
Exactly.
Figure it
Pack it
out
up.
as we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Frank hesitated, his hand drifting unconsciously to his pocket. The whisper was faint here, muffled by the walls of the glory hole, but still present. Yes, he said softly. Good, Elon said, though his tone was unreadable. Keep it safe for now. Soon enough, we'll decide what to do with it. But first, rest. Eat. The whole is made for that as much as for wisdom. Frank, he clapped Frank lightly on the shoulder and turned away, already muttering about rockets and power storage. Gary the Gay leaned close and whispered, "He's brilliant. Make no mistake, but don't believe every scheme he tosses out. I once found him designing a flamethrower just to see if it would sell. You know, like Spaceballs." Frank blinked. Did it? Oh, yes. Sold like hotcakes. And Frank, for the first time in many weeks, laughed until his sides ached. Later that night, with the lights of the glory hole glowed low and the music had quieted, Gary the Gay led Frank down a winding corridor to a small chamber. Oh no, he's turned into a priest.
Oh.
There's someone who's been waiting for you, Gary said softly. Frank stepped inside. There, seated in a deep chair beside the fire, was Black. His belly was rounder, his face lined, his laugh lines deeper, but the twinkle in his eye was unmistakable. He wore a patched smoking jacket, slippers far too comfortable for adventuring, and a mug of something steaming in his hand. Ew.
this is Black Beans, his uncle.
Oh, black beans. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Black said, his voice warm. Frankenbeans at last. Took you long enough. Frank froze. Then he rushed forward, dropping to his knees beside the chair. He is a priest. Black. The old bean chuckled, setting his mug to clasp Frank's hands. Easy, lad. I'm no ghost. Not yet, anyway. Frank blinked away his tears. I thought you were gone for good. Vanished. Left me with nothing but it. Black's smile faltered. His eyes flickered toward Frank's pocket, and for a moment the firelight seemed to cast shadows too deep across his face. Then he shook his head, and the old warmth returned. Aye, he said softly. I left you the ring. Not my brightest idea, was it? But I couldn't keep it any longer. It clung to me, Frank. It clung to me like an ex. It laughed when I laughed, whispered when I slept, stalked my phone, kept peering through the windows. Damn thing was hollowing me out like a pumpkin left too long in the sun.
Oh,
God!
Wow.
Whoo! Better you carry it now.
I don't think that's the kind of ring that we think it is.
Oh, don't worry. It gets deeper.
It swells. It pinches. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Better you carry it now, while you've still got some steadiness in you. Frank swallowed hard. It nearly killed me. Black, the pride dagger. They almost dragged me under. Black's hand squeezed his. But you're here. You're tougher than you think. Tougher than me, perhaps. I just wanted one more trick. One more laugh. You're
Is one more trick.
just one more trick.
One more trick.
You're the one who have to see it through. They sat a long while by the fire, speaking of lighter things. Of fireworks in the cheeks. Of brisket smoked too long. Of neighbors who still grumbled about the party tree. For a time, the shadow lifted, and Frank felt again the comfort of home. But when the laughter faded, Frank looked closer at Black, and his heart ached. The old sparkle was dimmer, his hands trembling faintly when they rested still. And when his eyes strayed to Frank's pocket, there was a hunger there,
Ooh.
quickly hidden,
Oh.
but not gone.
I'm pitching a tent.
This is how you raise the tent. Slowly. At last,
Like
Black
voice.
patted his hand and leaned back in the chair. Go on, lad. You've got bigger folk to meet tomorrow. I'll be here, waiting. Old Beans doesn't wander far these days. Frank rose reluctantly, his chest tight. Good night, Black. Good night, lad. Black said. His smile was faint, but his eyes were kind. Keep your head steady, and if you can't, well, pray someone steadier than us carries it next.
But his head?
Oh.
Jeez.
The firelight flickered, the shadows stretched, and Frank left him there, humming softly to himself in the quiet of the hole.
Oh.
It's like a favor at a jousting contest. Just give
I
me a
poke
little
you,
crown.
now you poke me.
Who'll give me their favors?
Oh, Chapter 8. The Council of Elon. Morning broke soft and clear in the valley of the hole. Sunlight poured through high glass and stone, catching in fountains and splashed rainbow arcs across the courtyards. Birds sang, strange and bright, as though mocking the heaviness of the day. Frank was led by Sam into the great hall, a chamber wide and high, with walls hung and banners stitched with odd patterns, like some circuit boards, like some dragon wings, some like half memes, half remembered, and at the far end stood Elon himself, tall in his silver jacket, his eyes sharp and restless. Gary the Gay sat beside him, his staff miraculously across his knees. His shaggy,
Huge.
quite an impressive staff, his shaggy brows bent low, and the benches were all full. There sat dwarves, squat and bearded, their boots muddy from long roads. They muttered to one another in voices like gravel, their eyes sharp beneath heavy brows. Frank caught only a few words: iron, gold, beer.
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 There.
There sat Tecklings, sleek and sharp, their hair gleaming, their fingers tapping absent-mindedly on glowing little devices. Their clothes shimmered with strange threads, and they some girl somewhere was opening up her account so that they could do naughty things to her from far away, and they were enjoying it quite rightly. Oh, and then they joked that no one else could hear. And there, too, were the bikers, tall, hard-faced men and women in their leathers. Their hands calloused, their eyes weary. They carried themselves in the weight of the road, their voices low and steady. One of them, seated close to Elon, sat apart from the rest. Dark-haired, lean, with a look of quiet command. Oh, Frank swallowed. He'd never been in such company. Oh,
Ooh, all these mans.
all these men.
It's the raining man.
Hallelujah.
Leather and vibrations.
Sam nudged him. That's a lot of bloody important folk in one room, he whispered. Best keep your cock washer shut. Pip leaned in from the next bench. You think they'll serve some snacks?
God.
Shut it, Mary hissed. At last, Elon rose, and all voices stilled. His presence filled the hall, though his posture was restless, as though he might at any moment dash off to invent something strange and unasked for. Friends, Elon said, his voice carrying across the chamber, you have come from every corner of what remains free. Dwarves from their mountains, Tecklings from their glass towers, bikers from the long road, even the farts from the cheeks. He smiled faintly at Frank, who blushed. You are all welcome in the glory hole. But we are not gathered for comfort. We are gathered for truth. The shadow of the Thrustlands has spread again, and it's time we decide what to do with it. He turned his gaze to Frank. The ring beans, show them. The hall stirred as Frank pulled the little black box from his pocket and set it on the table before Elon. The ring gleamed faintly, dark and smooth, its whisper tugging at him even from here in the hole. A murmur rippled through the benches, muttered curses from the dwarves, uneasy laughter from the Tecklings, and a grunt from one of the bikers. Elon raised his hand.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Here it is, the ring of Dingleberry, forged in the Thrustlands and lost for ages, again found in the cheeks, the one band to bind them all, and now it lies before us. We must decide its fate. The hall fell silent, heavy with the weight of history. Gary the Gay leaned forward, his eyes grave. And this is where I have a story should speak.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. Where was I?
Tell it. Tell it,
Oh,
then, Elon.
the hall fell
Gandalf.
silent.
Yeah.
You're Gandalf. Or whoever he is.
Elon, this is Elon.
Gary the Gay.
Oh, Gary the Gay. Yes.
Tell
That's
it,
what I'm
Elon.
saying.
The hall fell silent, heavy with the weight of history. Gary the Gay leaned forward, his eyes grave. Oh, then tell it to Elon. Tell them of the full tale. All of it.
And so Elon began. Elon stood at the head of the hall, the ring gleaming faintly before him. His eyes swept over the company, and the murmurs stilled. You all know pieces of the tale, he said. Whispers of the Thrustlands, the shadows spreading, the 9 that roam the woods. But now it is time for the whole story. Listen well, for it touches every one of you. He began to speak of ages past, of Dingleberry rising in the Thrustlands, cloaking himself in promises of ease and equality, spinning chains from honeyed words. He told of the rings of power, the 9 given to ambitious men, the 7 to greedy dwarves, the 3 to the lofty techlings, and at last he told of the one ring, the binding band, forged in the hidden fires of the Thrustlands. As he spoke, the hall shifted. The dwarves grumbled, their thick fingers drumming on the benches. The techlings rolled their eyes, but listened keenly, 1 or 2 adjusting their glowing devices as if fact-checking in real time. The bikers sat silent, but their eyes were dark, their hands never far from the chains at their belts. When Elon spoke of the pride dagger and the wound Frank had suffered, a murmur rose, and many turned to look at him. Frank shifted uneasily in their gaze, but Sam sat straighter at his side, as if daring anyone to question him. At last Elon's tale wound down. He rested his hands on the table and said, That is what come before. The ring is here. The Thrustland grows, and the 9 hunt. We cannot pretend any longer that it is not our concern. The silence hung heavy until at last one of the dwarves rose, his beard thick as wire, his eyes sharp beneath bushy brows, and his voice was a low rumble that carried into every corner of the hall. Well, yeah, we know this shadow, he said. It has crept into our forges and our halls. Our people are not what they were, but we have not forgotten our pride nor our anger. He thumped his fist on the bench. If the ring is to be destroyed, say so. If it's to be wielded, say so. But do not waste our time with riddles. Dwarves have got no patience for talk without end. Lord. He sat, and the hall rumbled with uneasy agreement. Elon's eyes turned next to the techlings. One of them was Rose. He was slim, sharp-featured, with hair styled as if a mirror were always at hand. Their fingers never left the glowing device in their hand, but their voice was smooth and practiced, like a speaker on stage.
Drag show.
The ring is dangerous.
Hi.
Too dangerous to be left in the wild. It should be studied, contained, understood. Only through knowledge can it be mastered. A murmur rose, some scoffing, some nodding. At last, Elon's gaze shifted to the bikers. Their leader rose slowly, tall and lean, his leather creaking as he stood. His eyes were shadowed, his jaw tight, and his voice was low but clear.
Yamaha.
Oh. With the ring is evil.
Yes.
What?
I love it. I love it.
It cannot be wielded without corruption. If we use it, you will own us. If we hide it, you will find us. There's no one on your whatever. Well, they said it was clear, but I'm not. There's only one choice. It must be destroyed. I sometimes go between Cockney and Australian. I don't know who I am anymore.
I love it.
What's the difference?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter. He sat again, and the hall fell to silence once more. Elon turned to the company. Well, so it begins. You've heard the voices each. Now we must choose. The silence of the hall was deep, broken only by the crackle of torches, and at last one of the dwarves rose again. He was short and broad, and his thick beard as a curtain, his voice gravelly enough to grind stone. He thumped his fist on the table so hard the mugs rattled.
I'm George, son of granite.
He growled.
I'll say this terrain. The dwarves remember what the ring has done. Our forge is dimmed, our minds hollowed, our kin lost a creed that wasn't our own. We'll not be fooled again by trinkets from the thrust lands. If it lies here, it's a curse. If it's wielded, it'll bring ruin.
He sat with a grunt, glaring at the techlings across the chamber. One of them rose immediately, tall and sleek, his hair styled like it had been combed by the moonlight itself. His clothes shimmered faintly, and his glowing device never left his hand, even as he smiled a dazzling smile that dripped of arrogance.
Hey, Sparkle Dash of the Silicon Valley.
He said, his voice smooth as honey and twice as smug.
And forgive me, but Chug speaks like a rock. So hard, but not very clever. The ring should not be destroyed, but studied, contained, optimized, used on ourselves with our tech and our wisdom. Our Sparkle, we could master it. The
Not the only thing you use on yourself.
Oh!
I mean, the Baldo only does so much. It can be controlled, possibly even monetized.
The techlings behind him tittered in agreement, tapping their glowing screens.
You said titty.
Did I? Titted. Tit. Tit mouse.
Titties!
Tit, tit. The dwarves are roped. Oh, God.
It's getting me all nipply in here.
Just the titty bits.
The dwarves erupted in grumbles and curses. Toad barked.
Monetize, you prancing little glitter fart. You sold it to trolls for breakfast.
Better than trolls, you lot sitting on it.
Sparkle Dash shot back, tossing his mane.
At least trolls innovate.
Oh, the tension flared hot, but before it could break, another figure rose from the biker's bench. Oh, my goodness, all these bikers. Tall, lean, dark-haired, clad in worn leather and steel buckles. His presence silenced the chamber. His voice was low and steady and hard as the road itself.
I am Yamaha, son of the open highway. And I have walked through the thrustlands, shadow longer than any here. I've seen the Nine ride. I've fought their cold. and I've watched what this ring does to men. Oh, the gaping destroy. Oh, wait a minute. There's. How it tears him apart. There's no mastering it, no cutting it, no holding it. If it is not destroyed, it will destroy us.
He paused. Oh.
We should take it to Thunderdome then.
He paused, his eyes sweeping the chamber.
The choice is clear. Either we cast it back into the fire. See, I go Australian again. Cast it into
fine.
the fire of the thrust lens where it was forged. Or it will bring every one of us down. Dwarves, ticklings, bikers, and even the farts of the cheeks. Clap them cheeks.
No, the words fell heavy, and for a long moment no one spoke. Even Sparkledash, flicking his perfect hair, had no clever retort. Elon leaned forward, his fingers steepled, his eyes gleaming with restless fire.
So
Elon.
we are agreed the ring cannot remain here. But who then will carry it? Who will bear the burden into the very thrust lands itself?
Aye, the hall was still. The ring glimmered faintly on the table, whispering to all who looked upon it. The silence hung heavy, broken only by the whisper of the ring. It seemed to glimmer more brightly on the table, its smooth surface dark but enticing, as though daring someone to claim it. Then a voice rang out from the benches.
Oh, why not use it?
All eyes turned. Rising tall and broad-shouldered was a biker, clad this time in polished leather. His hair was swept back, his chin lifted proudly. His voice carried easily, bold and ringing, though with a touch of arrogance that made Mary mutter under his breath. Oh, here we go.
I am Bronson of the Free Riders.
He declared, thumping a fist onto his chest.
I've seen the strength of men falter under the thrust lands. I've seen cities banned and our people cower. But with that ring, we could turn the tide. Why not hide it from its power when we could wield it? Why fear what could be our greatest weapon?
Oh, murmurs rippled through the hall. Some of the techlings nodded eagerly. Sparkledash, most of all, his eyes gleaming at the thought. The dwarves muttered darkly, shaking their heads. Chode snorted loud enough to echo.
Weapon, you dumbass, that's no weapon you can hold. It'll gut you from the inside before you even draw it. Might as well swallow dragonfire and call it a meal, you shit for brain mother.
Sparkledash tossed his hair and smirked.
Well, at least Bronson dares to think boldly. Some of you sound like little fossils afraid of progress.
Bronson stood taller, emboldened.
Well, yes, I think that men could do with such a gift. It would smash the nine, break the thrustlands, crush Dangleberry's shadow forever. We could destroy what we could save us.
But Yamaha rose slowly from his seat. His presence silenced the murmurs before he even spoke. His eyes locked on Bronson, cold and unyielding.
Because it will not save us.
Yamaha said flatly.
You will own us. You call it a weapon, but it will wield you. And in your pride, dumbass, you'd hand the world straight to the thrustlands. I'd rather throw myself under a truck than see the ring in your finger.
Bronson's face flushed. He opened his mouth to reply, but Elon cut him short with a sharp wave of his hand.
Enough.
Elon said, his voice snapping like a whip.
The ring can't be wielded, not by men, not by technons, not by dwarves, not by anyone. Its fate is destruction.
The hall quieted. The ring glimmered faintly on the table as if mocking their... What word is that?
The hell? Who spell checked this shit?
Hey, blame the bots.
Gary the Gay leaned forward, his voice.
The bots were sitting there going, let's fuck with him.
His voice softer but heavier.
And yet, it must be carried there, into the very thrushlands. Someone must bear it, through shadow and flame, through darkness and dread. Someone steady enough to grasp for it. Someone who can carry the burden, not wield it.
The silence was deeper than before. That was fabulous. I love it.
Awesome.
I've missed that voice. I'll go back and try to listen to your stories just so I can hear it. The silence was deeper than before, thick and suffocating. All eyes turned, though no one wished to meet the gaze of the ring. And then Frankenbeans rose slowly to his feet. His face was pale, his body still weak from the wound, but his eyes were steady.
Cartman?
Wait, man. Okay. I'll take it.
He said quietly.
I'll take the ring to the Thrustlands.
The hall stirred. Sam's face went pale. Mary and Pip stared. Bronson scoffed. Chode did what Chode does and grunted. Elon leaned forward, eyes bright, while Gary the Gay closed his eyes with something like relief.
But
Frank added, his voice small but clear.
I don't know where the hell to go. My GPS is not working.
At once, others stirred to rise. Yamaha placed a firm hand on his shoulder.
Oh, looks like I'm gonna ride with you.
Get off it!
Chode thumped his chest.
Dwarves don't let farts walk alone. Count me in.
Sparkle Dash flicked his hair.
Well, someone fabulous has to go. I'll come too.
Ew.
Sam leapt up, nearly shouting.
You're not leaving me behind, Mr. Frank. Not now. Not ever.
Oh, Sam. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam. Pip and Mary sprang up as well, speaking over each other in a babble of protests and declarations. Even Bronson rose, proud and unyielding.
Well, I'm not sleep this task done without strike the man. You can call me a dumbass, but I'll not sit
Dumbass.
while others bear the burden. Stop it.
The hall filled with voices, pledges, and protests until Elon raised his hands. The noise fell still.
So be it. You shall be the fellowship.
He paused, a restless smile flickering all.
Or rather,
Gary the Gay leaned in, muttering.
Oh, don't say anything stupid, Elon.
Elon smirked.
the fellowship of the ring.
I thought he was going to say the circle jerk of the ring.
The hall rang with the words, and Frank felt the weight of them settle heavy on his heart. The burden was his. The road would be long, but he was not alone.
Oh no, he was not alone at all. And you know what I realized as we got down through these chapters? We've already read these chapters.
We
I
have?
thought we had.
I can't remember. See, isn't
Yeah.
that good that I can't remember crap?
That is good. Give me just a second, because I think maybe I pulled up the wrong damn one.
I I can't remember
because
nothing.
I was thinking, I was like, all right, they've already had this meeting. I think
Yeah.
when we left off was like right at the beginning of what would be considered the second book.
Yeah, it was.
You know, after Frodo had to go his own
and
way
he goes
with
in
Sam.
the water.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bronson
And
had
heads down.
died.
Yep. Give me a second. I'm getting there. I was like, I knew this was wrong because we got rid of the departure there whenever he took off. The knob goblins. There were knob goblins.
What's bad is I keep looking at Diva's avatar thinking it's me. I'm confused myself.
Damn it. I don't know what the hell happened. That's why, because I'm looking at the old one. I was looking at last time we did this. All right, give me a second. I'll pull it up here because we were at like chapter 5. Still, it was fun. It got everybody a good catch of what was happening here. And why is it not showing? Yeah, because it left after chapter 5. Did I not move it over? Son of a buck. Damn it. Yep, that's why. I know exactly what happened. I put it in the wrong place. I'm an idiot.
Well, sometimes they don't mind when you put it in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a happy little accident.
Oh, okay.
okay. That's an interesting place.
Is that where you want it to go?
You sure that's where you went?
Yeah, good enough.
Oh, give me a second. I don't know what happened. My computer's been acting all
Well,
funky,
yeah,
but
it's
I can't
not
blame it on the
good.
computer this time. It's bad.
Yeah.
There it is. Right there. And all right. No wonder.
Sometimes you forget where you put the pudding pops
No, I did not.
till
forget
it is too late.
I did not forget where the party pops was. Give me a second, because we hadn't got to the king of. Okay, yeah. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry for the long delay, but we are at chapter 6. That's why. Share. All right. Chapter 6, the king of Brohan. There you go.
The wide plains of Brohan rolled beneath their feet, green and windswept. The grasses bending like waves before a steady tide. Southward they went, swift under the lead of Phallamir, the white rod, whose staff glimmered in the sun as though it bore its own flame. I'm sure it did.
By the way, Phallamir the White Rod used to be Gary the Gay.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh, this is where he's changed.
Yes.
He transformed.
I gotcha. The air grew keen, the wind sharper, until at length they came to a hill, steep-sided and proud, crowned with halls of timber. The roof shone golden in the noonday light. Its thatch bright as ripened straw, banners hanging stiff in the thin air. Everyone was excited for the coming. Long had it stood.
Would it go to waste?
Medusald. What? High seat of the horse lords of Brohan. Yet though it gleamed, a stillness lay upon it, a heaviness as of an hearth gone cold. Jesus, I can't read. Oh, there lies Medusald, said Yamaha, his voice steady. The whole of Bloodhard, lord of the horsemen of Brohan. Chode frowned beneath his heavy brows.
Far from afar,
He muttered.
when I smelled rot in the wood, kings who leaned too long on whispers forgot the sound of their own voices.
Sparkledash gave a long sigh, smoothing the dust from his cloak with a graceful hand.
darling. If the inside looks as rustic as the roof, I'll assume the decorator was drunk, blind, and in love with a sheep.
Oh, peace, said Phallamir, whatever, lifting his hand. His eyes glowed faintly with pale fire. I almost forgot. Mock not their hall. The fate of men may stiffen or sag here. And what, depending on the age, and what is spoken within these walls shall weigh heavier than stern. I don't know. They climbed a long stair, and before the great doors stood guards of blowhard, tall men, stern of face, their spears crossed. It's crossing the swords.
Don't cross the sword. It's painful.
The light of the sun gleamed upon their helms. Oh, but their voices were cold. No. No strangers passes unbidden, said the foremost. King Blowhard speaks only with those he knows and trusts. And you... His eyes lingered uneasily on the staff of Phallamir, bright as polished ivory, terrible in its gleam. Oh, you shall not carry that rod within these walls. Ooh, no, you don't poke somebody's eye out with that thing. Leave it here, if you would enter. Phallamir's gaze fell upon him, and the guard waved as though a weight had settled on his shoulder, wavered. My rod does not lie idle in the dust, said Phallamir. His voice was calm, yet in it was the sound of stone grinding and storm gathering. It has walked beside me through flame and shadow. It has bound to me as long as... Wait a minute, what? As a breath to lung. They shall never lay a hand upon it, save I.
No one touches my rod but me.
The guards shifted uneasy, yet still they held their spears low. These are orders of the king, the foremost said, though his voice was less sure than before. He is apparently easily confused. Ain't got no gas in it. No man enters with such a weapon in his hand. I'll give my sling blade. We'll take care of this right now.
This is not the rod you're looking for.
It's not the rod you're looking for.
Yeah. Why, let the king speak it with his own lips, said Yamaha. But not, wait a minute, but know this, friend. No hand save his master with that rod. And no command of mine will part it from him. Chode's voice rumbled deep as earth.
Would you come in, me bear, without the staff that is his strength? Better ask me to shave my beard and name myself Deckling. Neither of us will be shorn at your threshold.
Sparkle Dash, his lips curved.
And if you think yourselves equal to wrestling his rod away, I'll gladly step aside and watch you. Burns those clutches too easily.
That's because there's no penicillin there.
It burns. It burns.
It burns. It'll burn you too.
The guards faltered. Pride struggled against the weight of his presence until at last they lowered their spears. Go on in then, one muttered. But beware, if that rod flares, swells, becomes embiggened in the king's hall, oh, boy, it shall be upon your heads.
I'd be more worried about it going off.
Phallamir inclined his head, and the staff glowed faint in his hand, as if it had heard and laughed. Oh, my old world voice, huh? It flares only at my command.
Sorry, I read ahead. That's why I started laughing.
Only I can excite the rod. And so, the doors swung wide, and they all passed into the hall. It was dim, smoke curling from the long hearths. Gold gleamed faint upon the pillars, but the air was heavy, stagnant, as though no fresh wind has stirred in many years. Upon the high seat slumped King Blowhard, bent and withered, tired out from the rod through the years. His eyes pale as spent embers, his crown slipped upon his brow, and his hands trembled upon the armrests. At his ear crouched Crotchworm, pale and greasy and exciting. His lips slick with spit. Yeah, it was. Whispering filth into the king's sagging face.
See?
Hissed Crotchworm, his voice thin and sharp as a blade drawn across bone.
See, more liars, more tricksters come to deceive you. Cast them out, Blowhard. Cast them out before their skin sickens you.
The king's lips quivered. The anticipation.
Can somebody else do the voice?
Do it, Yamaha.
Oh, the king's. What?
It's the king.
Oh, the
Blowhard.
king. Cast them out. Then Phallamir strode forward. His staff blazed, white fire filling the gloom, and his voice rang like thunder, splitting the sky. Silence, worm. You have coiled around the king long enough. Your tongue drips poison, and it drips no more. I get my voices confused.
Drips no
The
more.
hall-
You finished?
Yeah. He spits dust now. He's old. He don't drip no more.
Like a
The hall
backfiring
trembled.
car.
Yeah. The hall trembled at his words. Guards shifted uneasily, some clutching their spears tighter. Don't choke too hard. Others lowering their eyes. Crotchworm shrieked, throwing his cloak before his face, and King Blowhard stirred upon his seat, coughing, as though a long shadow had begun at last to loosen its grip. Phallamir raised his staff higher, the light falling down upon the king's face. Oh, look at me, Lord of Brohan. Do not bow to the worm's filth. Cast him aside, and breathe once more. Blowhard lifted his eyes, and in them still lay fog and weariness, yet the blaze of the white rod pierced it. His voice broke forth at last. Begone! Take it away! It pinches, it hurts! Worm, your lies fall limp.
Much like your own rod.
A roar rose from the guards, spears striking the floor. Crotchworm screamed as he was seized, dragged wailing through the hall, and flung out into the light. The gloom seemed to lift. The hearth burned brighter. The smoke swirled upward as if a draught of fresh air had found its way in. Blowhard straightened up his throne, taller now, renewed in strength. And then she came.
Oh, yeah.
brought on by all the excitement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From behind the throne, through the half-light, a woman stepped forth. Moniwayan. Monalot, daughter of Blowhard. Blowhard's sister, niece of the king. Her hair was a river of red flame.
I'm getting excited now.
Spilling to her waist, catching the glow of the fire until it seemed each strand burned with its own heat. Her skin was pale, yet flushed faintly, as though embers smoldered beneath. The fabric of her gown clung close. Jesus.
He's
Like
tongue-tied.
getting all tongue-tied. I'm picturing a wet T-shirt contest.
I understand.
Redheads all over.
Yeah. It's like a curse we had.
I know, right? Stirred by no wind, as if warmth itself pressed it against her. Men who had faced knobgoblins, without flinching, shifted uneasily when she entered. For though she spoke no word at first, the air about her grew heavy, the silence hot, and more than one throat tightened. Blowhard's voice, firm now, carried through the hush. Blowhard. Oh. This is my sister's child. Long has she endured these halls, unbent while I withered. In her I see the fire that Brohan forgot. Moansalot bowed her head, and when she lifted it again, her eyes glowed not with innocence, but with something deeper, a smoldering that stirred the blood. Her voice was low, each syllable falling soft and warm, yet edged like a brand.
Well, my lord, you are restored.
Now I'm even more turned on. Can't stand it.
I was getting all puckered for Maud. Her gaze swept the hall. That silky, sexy voice of Maud. Phallamir, it lingered. Wait a minute. And when it found Phallamir, it lingered. Oh, somebody all funky up in here. It's lingering around. It's like a nasty from under cheese. It just won't go away. Oh, the blaze of her hair seemed to flare brighter, and her lips curved faintly.
And is the one who bears the white rod? Oh Lord, no common hand wields such heat.
Phallamir inclined his head, though his face was grave. Wait a minute. Oh, no, wrong one. Oh, I'm Phallamir. Yet I am no more the servant than that of the herb of... Wait a minute, I almost went into the whole fire thing. Never mind. Moansalot's eyes did not soften.
Oh, hope burns, honey,
She said. And though her tone was mild, there was a weight in it that made even the guards stir. Oh, for a time, no man spoke. Even the fire on the hearth seemed to crackle more sharply, as if answering her. Then Blowhard turned to her. Blowhard. Oh, no, yes, niece, where's my Hermione? I get all flustered. Oh, niece, I cannot take you where I go. Some must remain to guard this hall, to herald the people while the riders thunder abroad. I give this charge to you. Rule in my stead until I return, or until Medusa itself is ash. Moansalot stood tall, her hair blazing as though stirred by hidden flames, and her lips parted with a breath that seemed to warm the air.
Well, hell, I reckon I'll guard it.
She said,
But if the riders fail, do not think I'll sit cold in this here place forever. Lord have mercy, we need a fire around here.
There was a murmur, low and troubled, but Blowhard laid his hand upon her shoulder and said, then it is sealed. You are, wait a minute, who's Blowhard? Oh, the Blowhard, yes. Then it is sealed. You are Mounsalot of Burhan, keeper of Medusal. Her eyes lingered upon Phallamir. She said
yeah, they
nothing
did.
more. Oh, yeah. That long, lingering look, and just, take it back behind that throne and make her wail some more. She said nothing more, but in her gaze was a promise that burnt deeper than words.
Wow.
Ugh. And so the riders cheered. Blowhard was armed in mail that shone like water, and he swung into the saddle renewed. The horns of Brohan sounded, and spears flashed into the sun. But at the door of the hall stood Mounsalot, her hair a banner of fire, her gaze smoldering as she watched them depart. Thus was the king restored, the worm cast out, and the riders of Brohan mustered for war. Yet not all fire rode with them. Some remained in Medusald, banked but unquenched, burning in the loins of Mounsalot, waiting their turn, lining up, waiting for its hour.
Chapter 7. The road to Blood Crack. Dawn broke pale on the plains of Brohan. The sky washed in gray as even the sun feared to rise. The wind cut from the east, sharp and biting, carrying with it the faint taint of ash. Yet upon the field before Medusald, there stirred a new life. The riders of Brohan were gathering.
I keep wanting to say Muselix.
Muselix, that'll work.
Metamucil.
Or Metamucil. Yeah.
I love it.
Metamucil, yeah, that's even better.
From stead and farm they came, summoned by horn and herald, their steeds stamping upon the turf, their breath steaming in the cold, mail and spear flashing in the morning light, a forest of points rising against the sky. The clatter of hooves and the cries of captains filled the air until it rolled like thunder across the hill. And at their head rode King Blowhard, renewed and formed, his withered frame cast off as if it had been a cloak of dust. Bright mail wrapped around him, his helm bore the horse crest of his fathers, and at his side hung a sword, long unused but keen still, eager for the press of war. He sat straight in his saddle, and men who had watched him sag upon his throne now cheered, for he looked once more as a king of Brohan should, stiff, proud, and unyielding.
Yeah.
Beside him, clean.
Beside him strode Phallamir, the white rod, tall and stern, his staff glowing faint even beneath the sun, as though it bore a secret fire within. They have a cure for that. Yamaha rode close at his side, his dark eyes scanning the host, keen and grim. Behind them came Chode. His axe was laid across his broad shoulder. His beard was bristling, his mutterings low but steady. Sparkle Dash followed with a bow strung and ready, his cloak dancing in the wind, his lips curled in disdain, yet his gaze was still sharp, missing nothing. The horns of Brohan rang long and shrill, and the people cried aloud, the king rides again." Spears rattled against shields, hooves stamped, and the earth trembled. The shadow of worm and weakness was lifted. The men stood taller in their saddles stiffened by the sight of their lord reborn. Yet above the cheering clash, there was a heaviness in the air. The east still smoldered, and the faint breeze came whispers of ruin. The blowhard shone bright upon his steed. The land about bore scars not easily swept aside. Still the host assembled, and the plain shook with their number. Riders and companies wheeled and formed, the banners of Rohan snapping in the wind, all eyes turning to the king, waiting for his word to get up and ride. Mother, ride. Blowhard raised his sword high. The blade flashed in the dawn. His voice rang clear, carrying across the field.
Too long we lay limp, while worms whispered and shadows crept. No more, riders of Burhan, stiffen your loins, we march to the butt crack. And there we shall stand or fall as men.
A roar answered him, fierce and proud, the sound of many throats lifting as one. The horns blew again, deeper and wilder, and the host surged forward, ready to ride into the shadow. The horns fell silent. With a great thunder, the riders of Rohan surged from the fields. Hooves struck earth in unison, a rolling drumbeat that shook the ground and made the banners strain against their poles. The air grew sharp with the sweat of horses and the smell of oiled steel, and the hosts poured southward like a river unleashed. Swift they rode, and now row upon row, their cloaks streaming, their spears rising and falling with the rhythm of the gallop. The king led them, tall in the saddle, and Phallamir rode close at his side, his white rod gleaming as if it mocked the morning sun.
Oh, yes, it did. Get into the rhythm.
Yamaha. Get on it, don't stop. Sharp as a hawk's while Chode muttered gruffly to his mount, cursing stones and stirrups and every other thing that rattled beneath his bearded chin. Sparkle Dash rode lightly behind, his cloak flaring and his words sharp as the wind. Darling, if we keep this pace, my thighs will chafe before we even see the hobgoblin. Yet for all the noise and fire of the host, the land itself spoke louder. Smoke rose in the distance, thin columns winding up into the pale sky. They passed huts blackened by flame, their roofs fallen, the air still stinking of burnt wood and flesh. Cattle lay where they had been struck down, torn, mangled, and the tracks of many foul feet scarred the earth. Now the riders grew silent as they passed, their eyes dark. Mothers and children fled across fields, clutching what little they could bear, their faces streaked with soot. Some cried out to the king as he rode, voices cracked with fear and grief. Blowhard's jaw clenched and his hand tightened upon his sword, but he did not falter. The scout galloped hard from the south, dust streaming behind him. He reined in before the king, his horse lathered and gasping.
My lord! They are broad in number. The knobgoblins swarm the plain. Villages burn. The people scatter. The stench of scrotum spawn is everywhere. The Fremunda cheese fills the air. The pumpernickel is swollen.
A murmur passed through the riders, some cursing, some spitting upon the ground. Blowhard lifted his voice, and it cut the silence like a blade.
They spread filth across my lands. Let them glut themselves for a while. For soon they shall learn that Brohan is yet not soft. My riders are stiff once more, and we ride to strike them down.
The host sneered, though the sound was edged with anger. Spears shook, hooves paused and pawed, and they marched, pressed on, their cries echoing against the wide plain, but the smoke did not lessen, and with every mile the sounds of ruin deepened. The day wore long, and still the host pressed south. The hooves of many horses drummed like thunder upon the turf, but the land gave no song in answer. Smoke drifted from the east and west alike, and the sky seemed to pale, as though the sun itself grew weary of looking upon Brohan's wounds. Scouts came and went, galloping hard, their tidings black. Again and again they reported goblins in number burning as they marched, the people fleeing before them. Some said hundreds, some swore thousands. The riders muttered low, glancing at the king, their hands tightening upon their spears. One scout came near dusk, his face streaked with ash, his voice hoarse.
My lord.
He gasped, reining his lathered horse.
The plane is crawling. From Jizengard. All them unicorns flying around. Itself they march. A host beyond counting. They drive men and women before them like cattle. And the smoke their burnings goes up like a storm cloud.
A hush fell, and many looked to the king in dread. Blowhard sat tall in the saddle, though the fire in his eyes was fierce.
Oh, let them come,
he said.
I see no army yet. Only smoke and shadow. Brohan shall not sag before the stench of Nom-goblins. We should have stood against worse, and stiffen the tide. We shall do so again.
A murmur of assent ran through the riders, though still unease lingered. Then Phallamir spoke, and his voice was low, yet it cut cold like water.
Well, I was doing the wrong voices. This is me. I died. I'm confused. Do not be fooled. These are not scattered bands, no reins of chance. This is Scrotum's hand, and his purpose is plain. He does not burn for sport, but to drive you, to break you, to bend you. He marches more than the Nom-goblins. Behind them lies his will, his hard as iron, unbending. Your walls may stiffen, but the storm will not slacken.
The host shivered at his words, and even Blowhard's jaw tightened, yet he raised his sword and let it gleam, flashing in the dimming light.
Then let them come with all his spawn,
he cried.
For if we must sag, we shall sag only in death. Riders of Brohan, stiffen your loins, grip your spears, firm your hands. Better to fall hard than to wither soft.
Oh, God.
Go out with a bang.
Cheer rose fierce and wild, and the plain echoed with the sound, for though fear not, pride burned hotter, and the riders found their strength in the voice of their king. So they rode on into the deepening dusk. Evening came at last, slow and heavy. The sky bruised with smoke, the sun sank beneath the western hills, its light bleeding red through the haze. And the plains of Brohan darkened as if a vast hand had smothered the day. Still the riders, they pressed on, their hooves a steady thunder, their banners whipped by the wind. The land sloped now, the high shoulders of the mountains drawing near. Their dark walls rose stark against the reddening sky, jagged and grim. The valleys yawned before them, deep with shadow, and every pass seemed a throat waiting to swallow men whole. The riders grew silent as they entered the deepening gloom. Only the clatter of hooves and the creak of leather broke the hush. Some lit torches, their flames flickering in the wind. As soon as the river of fire wound across the plain, glimmering faint in the vast dark, the light danced upon helm and spear, and men glanced at one another, their faces pale in the glow. Phallamir rode tall and wide, his white rod shining faint, as if it drank the firelight, gave it back. Yamaha's hand never strayed far from his sword either. Chode muttered curses under his beard, and those speaking against the dark would keep it at bay, and Sparkledash hummed low and sharp, his eyes darting to every shadow, his bowstring taut. Blowhard raised his voice once more, carrying over the hush of the host.
Riders of Brohan, this night we ride not for glory, but for the bones of our people, for the hearts of our fathers, for the seed of our loins, yet unborn. Behind us lies ruin, before us lies fire. Yet we are stiff, and we shall not bend. That hurts, you know. Don't bottom out. Let Scrotum spawn break against us. For Brohan will stand firm.
Spawn.
Ew. Ew.
Well, it hurts.
The sound rolled across the dark valleys, echoing against the mountain's pole, though the shadows pressed ever closer. So they rode on, torches flaring, banners whipping, the thunder of their hooves rolling into the night, and far ahead, beyond the first black shoulders of the hills, there stirred a host of countless as ants upon carrion, marching swift and foul. Smoke rose thick and bitter, and the stench of death drifted on the wind. Thus the riders of Brohan came into the last of the shadow of the butt crack, the ancient fastness of stone where soon the storm would fall upon them in fire and blood.
Ooh.
Oh. Battle of the butt crack.
My. How appropriate right now. The Battle of the Butt Crack. The mountains of Brohan rose black against the fading light, their ridges sharp as broken blades. From the long ride, the riders turned, and before them yawned a narrow gorge. Steep-walled and sheer, and it smelled funky. There, clasped between the stone, stood the fortress men called the Butt Crack. Its walls thrust across the valley like clenched cheeks, hewn from the bones of the mountain itself, and above a great tower crowned the heights. Tall and stark, jutting upward as if to pierce the sky. Long had this stronghold stood, a bulwark against the spawn of shadow, and men boasted that no foe had ever forced its passage, save by the will of those within.
We're going to the Keep in Brown Eye soon.
It's time.
We won't be on the rim very long.
Get it drunk first. Blowhard reined in his horse, and his voice carried, proud and grim.
Here we make our stand. The butt crack has never been split, and it shall not be now. Let Scrotum's filth come clawing. They shall find the gates closed, and the cheeks clenched. Don't fight it, it only makes it worse.
A cheer rose, though thin, from the riders, yet many eyes strayed to the dark plain behind them, where torches already crawled like fireflies in a swarm, marking the approach of a host blacker than night. The gates groaned wide, and the king's company entered. Wow, already their valley folk were gathered there, boys clutching to bows too tall for their arms, graybeards with spears, women's with knives hidden in their shawls. Fear lay heavy upon them, yet when Blowhard passed through, they lifted their voices, and hope flickered like tinder struck by flint. Through the night they labored, stiffening the walls for the thrust to come. Spears were stacked, arrows bound, stones piled upon the battlements.
French ticklers flying all over the place.
It's everywhere. Is that a magic bullet? Ooh. Chode stalked the ramparts, growling at the laggards.
Stack it higher, you slackers. Splits if the crack splits, it won't be for lack of stone.
Dash corrected trembling boys with sharp words and sharper gestures.
Darling, draw it taut, but not limp. If your shaft goes soft, the first thrust through the wall will be your last.
Yamaha said little, but his eyes missed nothing. He moved along the gates, steadying hands, directing beams set against the doors. None doubted his will to stand firm when the night pressed on. Blowhard himself walked among his people, hand upon shoulders, voice low but steady.
Do not fear. This keep was held before and it shall hold again. Grip your shafts firm. Remember your homes, your kin, your lines. Protect your lines. Your sons of Brohan, stiffen, and the fortress shall not yield.
But even as his words rang, Phallamir came before him, staff aglow. His eyes were keen, his voice stern.
My brave hobbits. Fuck you all, I'm out. The night will be long, and your riders are few. The horde of scrotum swells beyond counting. If no aid comes, the crack may gape desperate. Oh, despite your strength.
Oh.
Yet here, this is at dawn, look into the east. There you will see the light, and it rides to stiffen your line, or whatever. I can't speak anymore.
Blowhard frowned.
You would leave us, you worthless worm, when the fortress is pressed hardest.
Phallamir's gaze did not waver.
Do not leave, but prepare. My rod must ride where yours cannot. Trust me, and guard the walls till morning. Do not let them enter.
So saying, he turned, and before the sun was set, Phallamir rode forth from the valley. Alone he went, his staff gleaming pale in the gloom, until at last he was lost to sight. The riders watched him vanish, unease thick upon them. Blowhard raised his sword.
He goes to stiffen the dawn. We must stiffen the night. Through the night and into the day. Hold the fortress, men of Brohan. Hold it till you can stand no more.
A ragged cheer answered him, and the horns of the keep rang out, echoing against the stone walls of the gorge. Torches flared upon the ramparts, and the stronghold bristled with spear and bow. And beyond, in the gathering dark, the drums began to beat. Night felt heavy upon the gorge, and the torches of the fortress burned bright upon the walls. For while silence hung, broken only by the shuffle of men on the ramparts and the creak of leather as bowstrings were drawn, then it came, the first pounding of drums, low and harsh, echoing from the mountains like the heartbeat of some vast beast.
Cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots.
With the drums rose a shriek, high and terrible, and from the darkness poured the horde. Rank upon rank of knobgoblins swarmed across the valley floor, their eyes glowing faint, their jaws open in hunger. They bore ladders, hooks, and heavy beams for the gates, and their steps beat the earth like a storm. Behind them rolled horns and drums, and a stench as thick as rot carried before them.
Oi, there comes splits the wall.
Yamaha said, his voice steady, though his hand tightened on his sword.
I
Muttered the
need a
toad.
stone to crack their teeth before they slip inside this hole.
Blowhard strode the battlements, his blade bright in the torchlight.
Stand firm. The fortress has not yet been entered. Fight it. Fight it all. Grin and bear it. The pinch is long and hard, yet let them press, and we will thrust back.
Arrows hissed from the cheek wall, a storm of shafts plunging into the mass below.
Oh, yes. So many shafts. It's like being on the casting couch again. Oh, wait a minute. What? I'm not supposed to say that out loud.
Many knobgoblins fell, shrieking, but still more clambered forward, their ladders slamming against stone, their hooks catching upon the battlements. Up they came, snarling, foaming, their blades gleaming as they sought to mount the wall. Roared Chode, his axe whistling in wide arcs. He cleaved them helm and skull, laughing harshly.
Here, none shall climb the crack while I keep watch.
Sparkle Dash flitted between bowmen, losing shafts swift as lightning.
Darling, if you're gonna mount a wall, at least try not to look like a drunk goat while you're doing it.
He called, even as another arrow found its mark in a foe's eye. Yamaha fought silent and grim, his sword rising and falling in sure strokes.
He was concentrating.
Each thrust was clean, each lunge was precise. He did not waste breath on cries. But his presence steadied the men beside him. The knobgoblins screamed as ladders toppled, tumbling in heaps, yet the horde pressed thicker. Rams thundered against the gates, each crash echoing through the keep like a groan of stone under strain.
Brace it.
Cried Blowhard.
Stiffen the beams. Pile some stone upon stone. No rod shall pass the doors tonight.
Men rushed to the gatehouse, shoulders straining, sweat running in rivulets. With every blow, the timbers shuddered, but still they held. The clash rang on, arrows spent, men hurled stones, boiling pitch, whatever could be found. The cries of the dying filled the gorge, and the fortress groaned beneath the storm. Yet for all the fury, the wall stood stiff, the gates unbroken, and the riders held firm. Blowhard's sword gleamed high as he roared above the din.
See here. See men all over the place. Oh, seamen. Oh, no. You are sons of Brohan. Keep your grip. And the crack shall not split tonight. Oh, the seamen lying about. See the men. Oh. Everywhere.
And the defenders answered with a cry, fierce and raw, though their arms ached and their loins quivered with the strain. The night deepened, and still the storm did not slacken. The knobgoblins came on in, wave after wave, hurling their ladders, ramming the gates, shrieking as they mounted the sheep.
I'm gonna get over that rim yet. Get in there.
The air was thick with smoke and stench. The cries of the dying mingled with the drumming of the horde. The men of Brohan bent beneath the weight, their arms trembling. their shafts spent. Yet the fortress clenched tight. Then a sound came that none had heard before. A low rumble, deep and dreadful, rolling through the gorge like a growl of the mountain itself. The stones beneath their feet quivered. Dust sifted down from the ramparts, and men faltered in their grip. A hiss rose sharp and fierce, like steam boiling from a pot, and with it came fire. A roar split the night. Flame leapt against the base of the wall. Smoke gutted upward, choking and foul. The cheeks shook as if they were struck by a whip. Wow.
I can't wait for the battery and jumper cables for it. Oh, get on that sparking.
Stone crackled, beams splintered, and men were flung from the battlements, their cries lost in the thunder. When the smoke cleared, horror lay before them. A wound yawned wide where once the cheeks had held. It gaped raw, edges jagged, a split torn deep into the fortress.
Wow, that's
Ooh, through the rent.
brought to you by KY. Oh, sorry. Don't
Through
let this
the
happen
rent.
to you.
Yeah, I always use lube. Through the rent surged the horde, knobgoblins shrieking with glee, their eyes blazing, their blades raised. They poured into the gap like floodwaters, trampling their own dead, clawing and thrusting as they spilled between the broken cheeks.
Back.
Cried Blowhard, his voice hoarse yet unyielding.
Back into the keep. The crack was horse. The crack may be split, but it shall not be taken in the whole. What? As a whole? What? Don't take my hole. No. Oh, my sea. Oh, see my men. Oh.
Yamaha leapt into the breach, his sword as a silver flash, felling foe after foe with grim silence. Chode roared, his axe swinging wide, cleaving skulls until his beard was thick with gore. Sparkledash danced on upon the rubble, losing his last arrows before drawing his knives, each cut sharp and sure, his mocking laughter ringing even in the chaos.
And another one bites the dust.
Still the tide pressed thicker. The split widened with every moment, and the fortress groaned as though it too feared the thrust. Smoke rolled heavy, fire glowed in the rents, and despair settled upon the men like a weight.
Seal the inner doors.
Blowhard bellowed.
Pile stern, brace beams. If the crack must gape, let it not be deep.
The valley folk stumbled forward, graybeards and boys, women with tears streaking soot-blackened faces. With trembling hands, they dragged timbers, rolled stones, and set bars, closing the path.
Racists running around in blackface and everything. What the hell is wrong with these people? Oh, because you're in the middle of a battle. It's okay to be all racist and everything.
I put the whole blackface stuff.
They were closing the path even as the enemy hammered at it. Behind them, the riders fought on, each stroke born of desperation. The halls rang with steel, the cries of the wounded echoed in the shadows, and the shrieks of the knobgoblins pierced the dark. And so the night wore on. The cheeks were torn wide. The crack was pressed, and the stronghold seemed ready to burst. Yet it still clenched, bloodied and weary, waiting for that dawn.
That's not right.
did not come. The night dragged on, black and heavy, and hope thinned with every breath. The cheeks lay torn, the gap gaping wide, and the foe swarmed through it in unending waves. The defenders fell back step by step, bloodied and bent, until at last they were pressed into the keep itself, the last clenched depth of the butt crack. The gates groaned beneath the blows of rams. Each crash echoed through the halls like a moan of a dying beast. The timbers splintered, the bars sagged, and dust rained from the beams above. Men stood shoulder to shoulder, their faces pale in the torchlight, their eyes hollow with weariness. Blowhard walked among them, tall despite his years, his voice carrying through his lips that were cracked.
Do not falter. Ye are sons of Burhan. If the crack must be split, let it be split with spears in hand. Better to fall hard than too soft in shame. Don't go limp in the face of your gaping hole.
Yamaha leaned against the gate, his sword dark with blood, his breath ragged.
Boy, if this door yields, we fall.
He said quietly, yet there was no fear in him, only the weight of certainty. Chode laughed harshly, his beard stiff with gore.
How's that become? I swung my axe all night, and still my arms aren't spent. I'll bury 100 more before I sag.
Well, he has the endurance.
He does.
Wow,
Uh-huh.
that's impressive.
Them short fellas, right, Shizzy?
I'm telling you.
That's right. Sparkle.
Like little bunny rabbits. No, sorry.
Just strap them up to their ass, and they fall right in.
Sparkle Dash twirled his knives, his grin sharp in the gloom.
Darling, if this is the end, at least it'll be stylish. I'll make sure the last thing they see is me, and I'll look.
The gate shuddered, the iron screaming. Men pressed harder, bracing with shoulders and beams, sweat pouring. Behind them, women wept and children whimpered, and the old men clutched their staves, ready to strike one last blow. Even in the din, the drums rolled, relentless, pounding like the heartbeat of doom. The howls of the knobgoblins echoed through the valley, a chorus of hate, and their torches blazed like stars of fire. The fortress quaked. Dust choked the air. It seemed the crack would burst wide open. The keep swallowed whole, and no dawn would ever come. Lord have mercy. Blowhard raised his sword high, his voice ringing above the thunder.
One more thrust. Riders of Burhan. One last stiff stand. Where's my Hermione? Hold the butt crack until it breaks. Or until we do.
And they roared in answer, fierce though broken, a cry that rang against the stone. So the defenders braced for the last assault, hearts clenched, bodies weary, waiting for the darkness to close upon them. And still the night dragged on. The night had grown long, and despair weighed upon every heart. The gates shuddered, the timbers cracked, and at the last clenched depth of the butt crack seemed ready to burst. The drums pounded still, and the howls of the horde rang high. Then it came.
There. I'm getting excited.
And then it came. A sound not of dread, but of hope. From the heights above the valley, a horn rang, long and clear, its voice strong as wind over the plains. It cut through the din, piercing the thunder of drums, startling both friend and foe. The knobgoblins faltered in their blows, their shrieks falling silent, and their eyes turning upward in sudden fear. Blowhard lifted his head, his face bright with fire.
The horn of Brohan, he cried. Dawn comes.
Light broke upon the eastern ridge, pale at first, then blazing. The sun rose over the mountains, red and fierce, and its first beams fell upon the valley. Upon the crest of the ridge, riders stood, a host unlooked for, their banners stiff in the wind. In the morning, their armor bright. At their head rode a white horse, gleaming like snow. Upon it sat Phallamir, his staff blazing with light, his voice ringing clear across the gorge.
Oh, I told you I'd show up, you little shit. Behold the dawn. Behold the stiffening of Brohan.
The riders charged, swift as a storm. Down the slopes they thundered, horns braying, voices crying, spears gleaming. The knobgoblins shrieked, panic breaking their ranks. They fled, trampling one another, crushed beneath the hooves of the riders. From the keep, the gates burst open, and Blowhard rode forth with his men. Yamaha leapt beside him, sword flashing. Jode roared as his axe cleaved Sparkle Dash, darting quick as flame. Together they drove the foe from the fortress, pressing them back through the split cheeks, cutting them down as they fled. The sun blazed higher, casting the valley in golden cheeks. Smoke rose from the slain, but the horns of Brohan rang louder, stiff and triumphant, echoing against the mountain walls. So the horde...
Quite a pearl necklace, but whatever.
So the horde was scattered, broken upon the field. The butt crack still stood, though torn and bloodied, its cheeks split, its stones blackened with fire, yet it clenched still, unyielding. It is. That would be pretty painful. Imagine the hemorrhoids. Blowhard raised his sword high upon the field, his voice ringing.
Oh, Brohan stands. The butt crackles. No foe has entered deep, and none shall while men stand stiff in its defense.
And the riders cheered, their cries fierce, their hearts lifted. The valley folk lifted their heads, their fear broken, their hope kindled anew. Thus ended the battle of the butt crack. The night was past, the dawn had come, and with it a stiffening that could not be bent.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best time.
Yeah, that was perfect timing on that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a pretty good shot there.
Yeah. That was good. That was good. It was fun. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. I was actually kind of I was playing the movie in my head.
I kind of was too, but I was imagining some different scenery.
It wasn't quite the same as we were reading.
Yeah, no.
But it was a little different.
A little different.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Mhm.
Ballstorm bugged out on us.
He had to. He had prior engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go torture some kittens or something.
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
You know how he is.
Nothing unusual.
No, nothing unusual.
Well, hang out for a little bit. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Good night. Make sure you see I Have a Story. Go check out his channel because he does real stories that were written by real people.
Yeah.
And he's got a great voice to boot. So, make sure you gird your loins, ladies, because
it's craveable.
It's craveable. I just like to read. Tell little stories.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
It's Sunday. dripping smooth like wine. Some are crooked, some divine. Whispers rising in the night. Touch the heat of Sunday spice. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Every laugh, a sweet device. Lose yourself in Sunday spice. Naughty secrets, little lies. Eyes are glowing, tongues collide. Doesn't matter if they're true. The fun is waiting here for you. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Let it tease. Let it entice. You belong in Sunday spice.